Good morning, this is Tony E, and we're on the third chapter of Atomic Habits. So I'm going to make this video really short because I realized my older videos have been long and people are not watching everything. So this is the third chapter, and in this chapter, it talks about the stages that your body goes through as you're developing a new habit, or if you're trying to lose a bad habit. So there are 4 stages. The first stage is called the cue. The cue is like a trigger. Now let me use an example of a guy who is trying to quit smoking. So the cue could be the smell of a cigarette, that scent. So that could be the cue. It's like a trigger. Now that's the first stage. Now after this guy smells the smell of that cigarette, then he gets the craving or the urge to smoke, and that's the second stage. After developing the urge to smoke, then there is the third stage, which is the action. So the action is the physical act of smoking. And then the fourth stage is the reward stage, where he gets the satisfaction people get after they've smoked. Maybe he feels warm or whatever. Then the cycle repeats. Now, that satisfaction he gets in the fourth stage comes back as a loop to the first stage. So this cue, the trigger will now, it's almost like it has a brain, where the trigger, after receiving the satisfaction of smoking, it will now attach that smell of cigarette to the satisfaction someone gets from the act of smoking. So the cycle continues, and that's how you form a bad habit or a good habit. Now, if you want to, let's say this guy who wants to stop smoking, what he needs to do is, one, from the first stage, which is the cue or the trigger, he needs to stay away from such. For example, he needs to stay away from people who smoke, because the smell of smoke will bring in the craving, which is in the second stage. The craving, like the urge to smoke, then it leads to the third stage and to the fourth stage. And it happens so fast. After practicing it for some time, you'll find that somehow it goes like it's an unconscious act, something you just do and you don't know. And the reverse is true. If you want to get into a new habit, that means, one, make the cue obvious, the trigger. For example, you want to be maybe a person who plays football, a footballer. Somehow you need to be around people who play football, or you need to be around sports areas. Now, when you see people playing, you will end up also into that feeling of, I think I should play. So that craving comes in. So, one, you have to be where you can get exposed to the trigger. Number two, that craving will come in when you're exposed. So that craving comes in when you're next to those, like people who play football and stuff. And then the action, make it easy. For example, imagine you want to maybe like start playing football. Then somehow your playing boots are very far. Maybe like you left your playing boots home. Now that will make it very hard for you to continue with that habit you're trying to build of being a footballer, because the action is very hard for you to do. Maybe the ball is home or your playing boots are home. So somehow you should make sure your playing boots are within reach. So you should make the action very easy. Just like I said in the first chapter, I think in the first chapter or second chapter. Make it easy. Now, making it easy could be do very small, simple, and easy to follow things. For example, you could say, okay, I'm going to only play for 5 minutes and then stop. Now that's easy. Most people can do. So the more you play, every time you play, you're casting a vote towards that habit you're trying to develop, the habit of playing football. And then it goes to the reward. Make it satisfactory. Now, I'm going to be discussing some of these things in the next chapter, but that's it anyway. One, if you want to lose a bad habit, make the cue scarce or hard. If you're trying to quit smoking, don't stick around smokers. Two, craving. You have to create a mental picture that makes this craving also negative. And I'm going to discuss it in the fourth chapter. Make the urge, that feeling of smoking, you can do things and make that feeling be so bad that you won't even feel like smoking. Every time you get the smell of smoke, you attach it to something negative. And then the response, make it hard. Don't walk around with a cigarette. So that every time you get the urge to smoke, somehow you have to move to a very distant place just to access a cigarette. And then the reward also make it unsatisfactory. And while gaining or trying to get a good habit, you have to just improve on the things that I've listed, which is the cue, the trigger, the craving, the urge to do something, the response or the action, the art of doing that bad habit, and then the satisfaction that you get. Those are the 4 steps. Alright, thanks. I hope this video was short enough, unlike the others, and have a good day.